Alan?
And Bill, just a note on the big picture for Jimmie Johnson today. The championship leader coming in. He started off back in 15th position. He's on his way to a top 6, maybe a top 5 finish today. Another solid day. They may not have had the best car, but they got the most out of it they could, Matt.
Kevin Harvick came into Pocono with back-to-back top 5s. Alan currently runs in the 5th spot. Combo issues, though, for the 29 team. Not only does he have older tires compared to the cars in front, the cars that are starting to chase him down, namely the 48 of Johnson. He also had contact with another car. Thinks he might have pushed into one of the quarter panels. It's just survival right now, Marty.
Well, Matt, Brian Vickers, the man in front of him in that 25 car, knows he's better on the long run than his teammate Jeff Gordon, who is right in front of him, although he has a lot of ground to make up. He also has an eye in the rearview mirror, very aware that Jimmie Johnson behind him, his other teammate, and also the 20 car of Tony Stewart have 4 fresh tires. He's seeing how fast they're coming and hoping they don't catch him.
Does hoping help?
No.
There's Hamlin. About a second over Kurt Busch.
A couple of laps ago, Kurt Busch, the 2 car, was a tick faster than Hamlin, but so I watched that time, and
I think the difference is, BP, I think Kurt Busch is driving for everything he has right now, and I don't think Hamlin is. I think Hamlin's car handle is so good, he's just being smooth and doing what he has to do, but I think Kurt Busch is driving hard.
Well, that's what he talked about earlier, remember? He said, I'm driving as hard as I can, and he's on cruise control. Alan, you got more on the 2?
Just again, thinking back on Kurt and the picture as it started the day for his team. They really needed to have a good top 5 finish today and have some of the guys they're racing for those championship chase positions have trouble. Some of the guys have had trouble. Kurt's running second right now. This could turn out to be a huge day, launching him to Indianapolis, where his bid for trying to get into the championship's concerned.
A little bit quicker than the leader that lap.
9 to go. So you can see Hamlin if you're Kurt Busch. You know how good he's been. Is your foot like going through the floor?
Yeah, and this is where, like I said earlier, it's real easy to start over driving. You start thinking you can go in the corners just a little bit deeper, and then when you do, you really blow the corner. So you know, Kurt's just trying to squeeze a little more out of that race car to try to make up some ground. All Hamlin has to do is not make a mistake. If then he makes a little bit of a mistake, Kurt Busch is going to be all over him.
I tell you what,
he's coming.
He looks to me like Kurt Busch is getting closer and closer.
And how careful or delicately is Denny Hamlin driving? He's only got 26 career starts, and there's a former champion coming on him in his rearview mirror.
Well, I mean, you know, obviously he's looking in the mirror probably about 50 times a lap right now. There's no question about it. But, you know, what he's got to do is just stay focused on what he's doing. Don't make any mistakes. Catching you and passing you are 2 totally different things, too.
Because the closer he gets, the more air that he's going to be, dirty air he's going to be getting into, and he'll pick up that arrow push. Now, Hamlin caught the 9 at a bad spot.
That hurts. That is going to hurt a lot. I'll guarantee you the 2 car will gobble him up on that. That's the worst place you can catch a car. Because he had to slow way down, wait till he got through the corner. Now, as long as Kurt Busch doesn't get hung up here, but it doesn't look like he will on this deal. So I think we'll see the gap shrink a little bit on this lap.
You see Casey Kane pull way out of the way.
No, he did not. He held serve on that lap, about the same speed as Kurt Busch.
That puts Kane 1 lap down.
Busch doesn't seem to be able to get through turn 1. It just seems like the car is a little bit too tight in turn 1, and that's where he's losing a lot of time.
But from the entry to 2 all the way back almost to turn 1, it looks like he is a little faster. Yeah. We'll pop in the speeds again when we get to the line. Be 6 to go this time. The 4 car off the pace.
Another flat left front.
Scott Wimmer 2 laps down on that 4 car. Here come the speeds at the line.
See, that's, you know, another tricky thing about this racetrack is, like everybody says, you can get a couple of them right, but you've got to throw one away. It's hard to get all 3 corners right. Your cars are not like 1 out of the 3.
Talking to Ryan Newman, that's why he likes this track, because you have to have 2 things. You have to have the car get through all 3 turns, and the driver that can get it through all 3 turns.
And you know, Jimmy Johnson and Tony Stewart made an issue of the fact they have 4 fresh tires, versus these guys 2. Johnson and Tony Stewart are running slower than Denny Hamlin.
Although Jimmy Johnson may take the spot away from Kevin Harvick here. This is for 5th spot. He's working on him.
Harvick 5th in the championship standings right now. Johnson, of course, the championship leader.
Harvick trying to pick up just any kind of draft off Casey Kane. That's why he ducked down on the inside.
Kevin Harvick gained 3 spots in NASCAR Nextel Cup points today. If he can just finish there as they run. And Denny Hamlin goes out off the chase to the NASCAR Nextel Cup to up in the 8th position, gained 4 points. Earnhardt Jr. out.
Is Earnhardt lost 8 spots in 2 weeks?
Yeah, you'd have basically from 4th to
11th.
Yep. And that's in less than 2 races, considering this one's not even over.
That's what I
You're
mean.
right.
That
Exactly right. But we can also, you can use that as a template for the next few weeks too, because this is going to be so tightly bunched when we get out of here. You hiccup and you're going to lose 2 or 3 positions, if not more.
Right. Got to have a good one coming up.
And see, now Denny Hamlin is starting to pull away from Kurt Busch.
It was that 2-car that time through turn 1, and maybe Kurt just drove it in there a little bit harder that lap, but he really pushed up the racetrack that time.
Just a couple of other cars running well here as we get close to the finish at Pocono. You can include among those Bobby Labonte inside the top 10, Dave.
Yeah, and their strategy didn't work out, Bill. They were one of the ones that had to come down pit road recently. The good news is that since they restarted with 4 fresh tires, he went from 13th into the top 10, 9th round.
Nice to see the Petties and Bobby get a top 10. Bobby, a former winner of the Brickyard 400, will be there in 2 weeks. Well, I don't think he's going to catch him, but anything can happen. But that 11 car has just been magnificent today.
Not only today, in June as well.
Yep.
This is only a continuation.
So that's...
Oh!
That's...
Sorry, Bill.
No, go ahead, Benny.
Busch is still trying to
Using up that racetrack.
going up that tunnel corner, got that thing. Allen, he's still trying.
Yeah, but he's losing grip on those front tires, Benny. That T-word tight for Kurt Busch. He just called in on the radio, so he's kind of burned it down trying to get to the leader, huh?
Well, he was trying, really trying. 2 laps to go. So you're saying that 11 car was good in June.
Yes.
Was good in July.
Yeah.
And it's going to be good in August.
In Indy. 2 weeks from now.
Put a security guard on that car by the time it takes the checkers.
That car went back to Joe Gibbs Racing, set in the corner. They fixed the damage from the left rear quarter panel where the tire had blown and caused the damage. Once that, they set in the corner, brought it back here, and it will go back to Indy. So they're going to tell him when he does all the burnouts, be careful.
I think I'd take that car back and put it in my garage. I don't even think I'd leave it at the race shop till Indy.
You heard Denny Hamlin on the Bank of America countdown to green. Very humble. Alan asked him a great question. Right now, I can't believe, and he filled in the blank, I'm driving in the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. He is 1 lap away from sweeping both races at Pocono. It's only been done 5 times in the long history of the races here. Began racing go-karts at the age of 7, stock cars at the age of 16. That was back in 1997. Came through the driver development program with Joe Gibbs Racing, 5 truck races, 1 Busch race in 2004. Drove 7 Cup races last year, had 3 top 10s, got the attention of not just his team, but the entire garage and a lot of race fans. He's one of the rising stars of the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series, so appreciative of everything that's been done for him. Says he doesn't get emotional until he sees his parents, because they are living the dream with him. Denny Hamlin, teammate to Tony Stewart and J.J. Yaley, driving for Joe Gibbs, coming out of turn 3 for his second career win. He sweeps at Pocono. Denny Hamlin, the race winner of the Pennsylvania 500.
Cars cross the line. Harvick does hang on.
Tony Stewart gets 7th.
Keith Cherry and all the guys high-fiving.
That crew cam works after the race?
After the race, oh yes.